Hey everybody, happy Thursday. Ready for some final lessons with calculation for this week. Remember, tomorrow your work will be more of like a quiz type format. So I hope you use those things. That said, I hope you're enjoying the sunshine today, and let's get to our calculation. So our first problem is 20 and 65 hundredths divided by 5. So remember, I rewrote this as this number under the bar, that's the first number, divided by 5. So I'm going to like to think of this as $20.65, and I'm splitting it or dividing between 5 people. So my first thing, right, is going to be an estimate. Well, I know that this is about $21, right? So I'm going to put it at 21. I'm doing it up here today. Divided by 5. Well, I'm going to also use the opposite. And hold on a second. My dog, just so everyone can see, is climbing up. Okay, so if you see, I kind of rewrote it to use the inverse. Remember, that's the opposite of division is multiplication. And I did 5 times what number would give me 21. Well, I know 21 is not a multiple of 5, but if I do 4, I'm going to kind of put around 4, right? Because 5 times 4 is 20. So my estimate is going to be about 4. And let's go to actually solving. So remember, I told you before, right? Whenever we're outside the bar, this is our part where we see if we have to move a decimal. So since there's no decimals here, I'm just going to take this decimal. I'm going to bring that up top. And I'm going to kind of pretend like it's not even there and just solve my division the same way. So I'm going to start here on the left. Remember, division is the oddball. And I'm taking a look at 2. If I have 2 things, I cannot make a group of 5. So I have to kind of go next door. If I have 20 things, well, we just said that, right? When I divide 20 things up between 5 people, I know I can make 4 groups. I have been writing them down here, but this is a basic fact. So hopefully you remember 5 times 4 gives me 20. So then I'm going to subtract 20 minus 20 is going to give me 0. And we know that whatever's here needs to be less than this to know we have the right number of groups. So then I'm going to go, my B means bring down. So I'm going to bring my 6 down. So now when I have 6 items, I know that I can make one group of 5. So that's my division. So put this here. Now I'm going to multiply. 5 times 1 gives me 5. And I'm going to subtract. And 6 minus 5 gives me 1. And I'm going to bring down my 5. And if I have 15 items, I know that's a multiple of 5. Remember, if I'm using my multiplication table, I'm going to look in 5 and go down that column until I come to 15, or the number closest to it. In which case, and then remember, once I get to the 15, I move over to the side, and I would see it as 3 groups of 5, right? So that's what the division is, telling me how many groups of this number. And then I'm going to multiply. 5 times 3 is going to give me 15, and I subtract, and I have 0 left. So here's my number. That's going to be my answer. And if we notice, it's really close to my estimate. And we knew it was going to be more than 4 because of the fact that 21 is bigger than 20, and that's what 5 times 4 is. Moving on to our multiplication, we have 17 times 9 and 36 hundredths. So I rewrote my problem, and remember, we've talked about this. When I have only 2 digits on the bottom, that tells me I'm only going to have 2 add-ins, which I'd much rather have than the 3. My estimate, I know that I would normally be rounding this down to 9, but because when we do an estimate to give us an idea, I'm going to pretend like this is like 17 times 10. Now I know I rounded up, so that's more, but I know I should be somewhere around 170. So there's my estimate. Okay, so remember, when I multiply, I'm going to start on the right. And remember, I'm going to take this first number and I'm going times each of these numbers. So I'm making 7 groups of $9.36. Okay, and so I'm going to go 7 times 6 is 42. So I'm going to carry my 4. 7 times 3 is 21. Plus 4 is 25. Carry my 2. Remember, I put my 1s, carry my 10s. 7 times 6 is 63. and then plus 2, 64, 65. When I move here to my tens, and I know this is a 1, but this is like making 10 groups of it, which is why we're going to put our 0 here in the ones, and then start. 1 times anything is going to be the same thing, so that gives us idea. But just so that we remember the steps, I'm going to talk you through them. So 1 times 6 is 6. 1 times 3 is 3. 1 times 9 is 9. And then I'm going to add those together. And I get 2 plus 0 is 0. Oh, I'm sorry. This is Marshall. 2 plus 0 is 2. 5 plus 6 is 11. My 1, I carry my 1. 1 plus 5 is 6. Plus 3 is 9. 6 plus 9 is 15. And then I go back and take a look. I have 2 decimal places. I can look up there or I can look here. And I'm going to move over. I put it there. So my final answer is 159 and 12 hundredths, which we know is close to the 170. And that makes sense because remember when we went to the 10, we rounded up.